Hello friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. Today I thought it would be fun to go back and reflect on products I talked about in old favorites videos and see what's kind of stood the test of time, what would I still consider favorites. And I actually have quite a few things that have stood the test of time, so that's really cool. Side note, I don't recommend going back and watching old videos of mine because I am so awkward to look at. I can't even stand it. I am so impressed with how much better I've been at talking to a camera. Goodness gracious. I'm focusing mostly on favorites videos from 2017 and 2018. I felt like 2019 was a little too recent. I wanted to kind of pinpoint things that are 2 years and more that I've loved because I felt like that would make more sense. By the way, I did film this look, of course. It should already be up on my IGTV by the time this video goes up. I love this look, side note. I think it's super glamorous. I feel really good. Also, I have no clue where this choker is from. I'm so sorry. And these plugs are from Love Kills Boutique. And yeah, I guess with all that being said, let's just hop in and chat about some old favorites. Alright, just going in chronological order, we're going to start with 2017, which is very few because I didn't even start making favorites videos until later into 2017, so I only have a few things, but they are things that I still love so much. The first thing is my Becca Bali Sands bronzer. You guys know how much I still love this guy. This one looks like I barely touched it, and it's because it's a newer one. I got this one about maybe a year ago. I totally ran through my first one. I don't think I've ever gone totally through a powder face product before. If I have, it's very few and far between, but I still love this bronzer with my whole heart. I would probably be content with this being my only bronzer if I'm being honest with you. I try to switch it up and use different things just so it's not too boring for you guys, but I love this bronzer with my whole heart. It has such a nice sheen. I feel like it's such a good shade for pale skin. It's just a fantastic bronzer. I can't see myself ever disliking this one. It's just very easy to use and it goes perfectly on my skin. I don't know what else to say. Really cool that I've been loving this bronzer for like 3 years solid now. It's so fantastic. Next are some liquid lipsticks from Dose of Colors. 2017 was the year I discovered them, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been late 2016, but I guess I really loved them and felt the need to talk about them in 2017. So yeah, I have 3 here. I technically have 4, but I don't know where my 4th one went. I'm gonna have to find it because I can't lose that lipstick. The first one is the one I'm wearing right now. It's called Stone. It's just such a nice, more neutral, cool toned pink. I used to wear the heck out of this lipstick. I couldn't get enough of it. This and Truffle were my #1 favorite lipsticks for the longest time. Truffle's the one I don't currently have in front of me. I don't know where that guy ran off to. I'm gonna have to go searching for it, or I might have to repurchase it because I love it so much. I'll pop a picture up here so you can see what Truffle looks like, but it's just a really good, more warmer, neutral shade. It looks really good on my pale skin. It's not like too light. It's just a nice medium tone for me. It's really pretty. I wore that pretty much every day for a long time. The next one is this shade called Mondays. I actually wore this pretty recently, and I talked about how I've been loving it for so long. I didn't realize I've been loving it for this long, but it's just a really nice, just kind of warm, burnt, neutral kind of color. I don't really know how to describe it. It's really pretty. It goes nicely with grungy looks that I do, and it's fantastic. Dose of Colors is probably my favorite liquid lipstick formula of all time. I'm not a huge liquid lipstick person anymore. I'm definitely more so a gloss and creamy lipstick person, which is funny because I didn't even like love gloss until later into 2018, I feel like, but I was a huge liquid lipstick person back then, and even though I don't love them too much now, Dose of Colors has still like stood pretty strong for me. I still find them to be pretty comfortable and they last a good amount of time. And finally, the last one I want to talk about is Cork. I still love this one. This is probably my #1 favorite from them currently. It's just the prettiest grungy brown. It's so lovely. I love this in the fall time. I mean, I love it all the time, but especially in the fall, it is to die for. That is the most rumbling motorcycle in the whole world, goodness gracious. This shade in particular I love pairing with my Gemini palette from Melt Cosmetics. Really random, but I just think it looks really cute. So that's it for 2017 specifically. Again, a pretty short list because I didn't start making them until later in the year, and some things just weren't relevant. These are things that I still love with my whole heart. Alright, moving on to 2018. The first one I have to talk about is this Plushies liquid lipstick from Lime Crime. It's in the shade Milk Tea. I actually wore this recently in a video, which is really funny because I hadn't even been planning this video at that point. But this was my first hand at kind of like a more sheer-ish, like blotted lip kind of feel where it's not 100% opaque, your lips kind of peek through, and I fell in love with this kind of formula. I feel like this formula kind of transitioned me away from full opaque matte liquid lipsticks. I still love this shade. It's a really good, just neutral, everyday quote-unquote kind of color. It goes with pretty much whatever I want if I'm not really sure what to wear. This is a good go-to. Pretty sure I wore a Plushies at my wedding. I'm pretty sure I wore the shade Poof, but I hadn't discovered it at that point, so that's irrelevant. But regardless, I love this formula. I feel like it's super, super comfortable and very cute as well. I've collected quite a few of the Plushies since then. Next, this has been such a long-term favorite, and this one is actually my second one as well, so I guess that's 2 powder products I've technically gone through, although this is kind of a cream powder. Whatever. This is Flexitarian from Colourpop. One of my all-time favorite highlights. I would probably still put this in my top 5 if I had to just like pick off the top of my head right now. It's so pretty. It's so creamy feeling. Sometimes I apply it with my finger, sometimes a beauty sponge. A beauty sponge is my favorite, but I'll also use a brush as well. It's just so insanely bright and beautiful. It melts into the skin so beautifully. It's one of the few highlights I have that's this bright and blinding without it being sparkly and glittery. It's just pure bright wetness on the cheeks. I will never get enough of this highlight. This is another good go-to if I'm not really sure what to wear. This one goes with everything. It's not too much, but it's also a lot because I don't like subtlety, and it's just really pretty. Another highlight I have to talk about that I haven't really worn lately, but I would still consider it a favorite because it's so beautiful and so unique. This is my Give Me Glow Cosmetics Halo highlight. You can see how beat up this package is. There's quite a dent in the center there. I don't know if you'll be able to tell on camera because of how bright it is, but this was such a cool find. I just saw a random Instagram post about this and I immediately went and purchased it for myself. And then I feel like after that, everyone started discovering Give Me Glow Cosmetics. This is such a cool highlight because it has kind of a gold blue shift. I don't know how well you'll be able to catch that shift on camera, but my goodness, is it so cool. It's so bright on the cheeks. Give Me Glow has one of my favorite highlight formulas ever. I'm so thankful that I randomly purchased this product because it helped me discover my love for Give Me Glow Cosmetics and all the fun things they have to offer. Since then, I've collected multiple highlights from them. I have most of their eyeshadow palettes. They're one of my favorite eyeshadow brands. It's just, it was such a cool discovery. Next up, this is another one that I can't believe I've been in love with this for over 2 years now, but this is my Milk Makeup Baked Bronzing Stick. This is actually still the same one and I still have so much product in here and I wear this a lot. I haven't been wearing it much lately. I haven't worn cream bronzer in probably over a month now just because I kind of got bored with that step in my makeup routine, but I would still hands down consider this a favorite. If I did decide I wanted to wear cream bronzer, I guarantee you this is the one I would pick up. I only have a couple cream bronzers, like literally maybe 2, and this one is just, it satisfies all my needs. I don't feel the need to try more cream bronzers because this one's just perfect. It blends out so nicely. It looks great on my pale skin. I don't feel like it's too dark or too orange. It's just a flawless cream bronzer, and I love the fact that it's lasted me so long because there were times that I wore this every single day for months at a time. So what a fantastic bronzer. I can't believe it's been that long since I discovered it and started playing with it. I think that was around the time when I started kind of venturing into cream products as well and kind of opening that door because I was very scared of cream products. I think that's like the first one that I kind of used and fell in love with and didn't feel scared of. Next up is like, it's kind of still a favorite, but I found something very similar that replaced it a little bit, but I still wanted to talk about it. In 2018, I discovered the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. I went through probably 2 or 3 of them. I really liked that concealer. And then more recently, they came out with the Conceal and Hydrate, which is what I currently have. I figured I would still talk about it because if this one suddenly got discontinued, I would 100% go back to the Conceal and Define. This one's just a little more hydrating, a little more of a satin finish, which I prefer, but I still wanted to talk about that concealer in general because I would still consider it a favorite even though something else in the same line kind of replaced it a little bit. It's still a fantastic concealer and I loved it with my whole heart. Next up, we have 2 more lip products. This first one is Trinket from Sugar Pill. I love this lipstick. I actually desperately need to repurchase it. Part of me really wants to splurge on the bundle of getting a Trinket liquid lipstick with their new Trinket gloss. Sometimes they send me stuff in PR. I can't promise that it will. I'll probably just wait it out a little bit, see if they send it to me, and then also wait until I have some extra spending money because I'm really not buying makeup right now. And then maybe I'll get it one day. But regardless, I love this liquid lipstick. It's a really pretty pink and it has like gold sparkles in it. Ugh, there's barely anything coming off this brush. I really do need to repurchase this one. It's very rare when I run through a whole liquid lipstick, so the fact that this is pretty much empty, it definitely says something. but it's just such a cute lipstick. These lipsticks smell like cake. I feel like these ones also look really nice and last really well without feeling too dry. This is another one of my favorite liquid lipstick formulas. Dose of Colors beats it by just a little bit, but Sugar Pill would definitely be up there as far as favorite formulas. Next lip product is also from Dose of Colors. This is the Goals Gloss. This is kind of when I started dipping my toe into gloss. I was not a gloss person for a long time, and I decided to try some when Dose of Colors came out with some glosses. I picked Goals because I liked the idea of not having something too opaque where it could get messy. Did you guys just see that? The doe foot just popped right off of this. That's really unfortunate. I don't think I'm going to be able to stick it back on. I guess I'll probably have to use a lip brush for this. Well, it's right there. It's mostly sheer. It's like mostly clear, kind of like a sheer gold with sparkle going through it. I think it's really pretty. I can't believe the doe foot just broke off of this. But to be fair, this is like at least 2 years old, so I guess this kind of thing just happens. Goodness gracious, what is today? Needless to say though, I fell in love with this gloss. Since then I've collected a couple glosses from them. One of my all-time favorite glosses I'm going to talk about at the end of the video, but it really helped open the door for gloss for me, and now I am such a gloss person, especially sheer sparkly gloss. That's where it all started right there. Goals from Dose of Colors. All right, the first eyeshadow palette that stood the test of time is the Give Me Glow Summer Vibes palette. Since trying the Halo Highlight, I had them heavily on my radar, and then when this palette came out, I just knew I had to have it. And I still think it's so pretty. It's very fun. I love the quality of the shadows. The shimmers are some of the most metallic shimmers you will ever find. The mattes are so incredibly pigmented, but they blend like butter. I had so much fun playing with this palette. I still have fun with this palette. I'm pretty sure I talked about this in my summer favorites for this year. I've done so many videos with this palette. I can't get enough of it. I can't believe I've loved it for this long. It's so crazy. It does not feel like it's been that long since I discovered this brand, and I'm so happy that I've just been in love with this palette for such a long time. This brings back so many memories talking about all this stuff. It's so fun. Oh my gosh. I encourage all of you to just kind of go through your makeup collection and figure out like some of your oldest products and figure out what's still like such a favorite, because it's so much fun to reminisce and see like what still has kind of held up. All right, another liquid lipstick, another Dose of Colors liquid lipstick. I was going to include this earlier, but I didn't discover this one until later, so I figured I would save it for chronological purposes. This is the shade Chocolate Wasted. This kind of opened the door even more to brown lipstick. Cork kind of opened the door a little bit, but Chocolate Wasted like flew the door open. It's just literally the prettiest chocolate brown. I love brown lipstick, especially in the fall and winter. I think it's so attractive on literally every single person in the world. It's such a fun, like dramatic statement lip, but it's also neutral, so it doesn't feel too loud and out there in my opinion. I love a good brown lip, and I've loved this lipstick for such a long time. I don't know, it's a perfect brown lip for me. Next up is the NYX Epic Ink Liner. I can't tell you how many of these I've gone through, probably like at least 5. I'm wearing it today as my liner. The Illamasqua Precision Gel Liner might have replaced this as my favorite liner, but I still love this deeply, and the fact that I don't have to pull out like a liner brush for this, it's just an all-in-one, still makes it a favorite in my mind. I mean, I still have one. I will probably repurchase this when I run out of this as well. It's just such a good liner. I've used it for such a long time now, and I just love it. It's very black. It doesn't transfer or melt away on me. I love it. It's great, and it's so affordable, which is a bonus. I used the Stila Stay All Day one for the longest time, and then when I discovered this one, that completely replaced it, which was great for my wallet. Next up, the last eyeshadow palette I have to talk about. This is my Shroud Cosmetics Creepy Cute palette. This was back when they were still called Strobe Cosmetics. I can't believe it's been this long. I've had such a good relationship with this palette. It's still my favorite pastel palette. I'm pretty sure in my top 10 palettes video that I did recently, I put this as number 3. I adore this palette. You can just see all the dents I've put into this. Void is my favorite black of all time. Strawberry Milk is such a good blush. Tombstone is a fantastic gray. These pastels are so beautiful and blend so nicely, and they can also be built up to be quite vibrant. Borderline neon, but like pastel neon. It's just such a fun palette. I just can't get enough of it, and I'm so happy that I've loved it for this long. I can't believe it's been like 2 solid years, if not a little bit more, of loving this palette. Ah, the memories. It's so fun. This next one I haven't used in a while simply because I've been more on the very low coverage, serum-y, tinted moisturizer, sometimes skipping foundation in general kick, but I would still consider this a favorite. I really enjoy it and I'll probably bust this out when we're in the cooler months. This is my Colourpop No Filter foundation stick. I love a good stick foundation. Typically they work really well for more normal to dry skin, which is me. Mine personally is in the shade Fair 27N. This blends out really nice on the skin. I find it to be very long lasting. It doesn't make my skin feel dry. I remember products layering really nice on top of it. I will be happy to bust this out when the months aren't quite so hot here in Florida because I really am enjoying like less coverage or no foundation at all right now, but I would still consider this a favorite. I really enjoy this. I honestly want to say this is my second one. I feel like I might have gone through the entire first one. I can't be sure, but either way, I still really enjoy that foundation. I would definitely consider it a favorite still. Finally, last two products. I have two more glosses to share with you since now at this point in my makeup journey, I'd really found love for gloss. This is the Lime Crime Naked Cherry Wet Cherry Gloss. It's just a very pale, kind of pinky neutral color. It's really cute. Where should I put this? I'll put it down here. It's very comfortable, more opaque than the other gloss I talked about earlier, and it doesn't have sparkle in it, so this was definitely something different for me to have something a little bit more just creamy looking on the lips. But needless to say, I fell in love with it. I love the smell of these. Ah, they smell like cherries. It's so good. I've since collected one more of these and I wouldn't mind having some more because I really enjoy the formula. I think it's really comfortable and really pretty on the lips. And finally, probably like one of my most favorite products of all time, and I'm depressed about it because it's not available anymore, but it's okay. You guys have heard me cry about it enough. This is the Dose of Colors Desi x Katy collaboration lip gloss in the shade Over the Top. I'm not going to swatch it because I'm not trying to waste product when I love this so much. I don't even wear it that much anymore because I'm like saving it for special reasons because I'm going to be so sad when this is gone for good. But basically this is a clear lip gloss with little golden sparkles in it and it's so beautiful. I love this lip gloss with my whole heart. The Magic Jelly Gloss from Tower 28 might be my replacement for this. It's not the exact same texture, but it's very similar in the sense that it's clear with those cute sparkles in it. Not the exact same color sparkles, but I think that one will fill that hole in my heart when this one's gone. But regardless, I've loved this so hard for such a long time. If I was smart at the time, I would have bought two of them. I just had no clue that I was going to be so in love with this gloss. And it's funny because I didn't even buy this when the Desi x Katy stuff first launched. I didn't buy this until the second round when I decided I'll give it a chance. Had I picked it up the first time, I probably would have picked up a second during the second relaunch of this. Such a good gloss. I just love it. You guys know how much I love that freaking gloss. So yeah, these are some of my long-term favorites. I would love to know your thoughts. I would love to know some of your long-term favorites. What are some things you've been loving for 2, 3, 4, 5 years? I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Do any of these surprise you? Are you totally not surprised by any of these? If you feel like something's missing from this collection, it might be because I discovered it in 2019 and I just didn't feel like it had been quite enough time to consider it a long-term favorites. If you made it to the end of this video, leave me I'm gonna get creative with this one. Leave me an emoji that you feel like you've been using consistently the longest. I know that's stupid, but it's just fun. If you liked this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, please hop over to my Instagram. It's Beauty and follow me there. I post every single day. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm posting most days here as well. Black Lives Matter is so important. Please make sure you're staying informed. There is a link in my description box that will take you to resources and ways in which you can help. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.